All right, Mama, you are on lesson 7, and this is the talk. The one that most of us dread. We're not sure what to say. Will we mess it up? You might have even had this experience with your mom or didn't have it, and you are already feeling anxious. Take a deep breath and know that this is the beginning. You don't have to do this perfectly because you're going to be doing this over the next many years with your daughter as you open the door to healthy communication with her about her changing body. And this is something that really all of us women would love freedom to talk about. There's so many things that are happening to us and in us, and to have a guide like you, Mom, for your daughter is one of the most important pieces to her growing in confidence and to be able to face whatever her story brings. Now, there's a couple key things that I want to talk to you about. First is, it might be important for you to go back to Communication 101 and revisit that video before you have this conversation. It just will remind you that listening posture is really one of the best ways to create a safe space for your daughter. She's going to have some questions, and if she's a very curious one, she might hit you with questions. You go, I don't know the answer to that. Let me get back to you. Or let me think about that. It's okay for you to slow the process down. But for the most part, many of your daughters are going to just be overwhelmed, maybe shocked by all of the information that you're going to go through. You're going to talk through the changes that are going to be coming through puberty. What does a period look like? The purpose for a woman's body, and how do babies come into the world? And we're going to give her the true terms, the terms that explain what's happening on the inside. That's why it's called, what is a fallopian tube? Even just saying that word can make us feel anxious. And then for those of you who are ready, or you think your daughter is ready, probably because of her age, if she's getting a little older, maybe 4th and 5th grade, you're going to talk to her about sexual intercourse. And really God's design and his purpose for a man and a woman to come together in marriage and what intercourse can be. The goal of this is to create a sense of excitement and to not bring shame into the room, but to make this a place of joy and beautiful design. We want our daughters to know that all of this is good. They are bombarded all day long with lots of shame messages. And even in the church, we can talk about our changing bodies and sexuality with shame. Your story might be one where you didn't wait until marriage, or maybe you were violated along the way. I'm going to encourage you, Mom, to make sure that you do your own work around that part of your story. God wants to meet you and bring healing as you walk with your daughter. This is for you as well. But know that your daughter's story might not be one of waiting until she's married. We're going to start this conversation when she's in 3rd to 5th grade. But the reality is we don't have a lot of control over the choices she makes. But we do have control how we talk about it. We have control over what information we give to her. And we have control of her feeling like she can come to us with any question, and we're going to do our best to show her the way, to show her what God's design is and his heart and his hope for her, and then practicalities of what do we do when our bodies are changing. There's a lot of things that are going to come at your daughter in the next few years, and I'm encouraging you not to wait. The sooner you talk about this topic, the easier it gets for her to feel comfortable about the things that are going to happen over the next few years. And you are going to become less anxious about it as well. I talk about sex, I talk about bodies, I talk about this all day long in my office and in teaching people, and I was still really nervous to have this conversation with my daughters. There's something about wanting to protect their innocence and feeling like if we give them too much information, are we going to cause them to stumble or to be tempted? And truth be told, the girls that know what's coming, they know that God designed them with a purpose, and they understand the changes that are happening in them. Those girls are going to be able to say no to some temptations. They're going to be able to recognize predators. They're going to be able to have courage to make choices for themselves in a different way than girls who are left in the dark and have to figure it out on their own, or have to Google it on the internet, or learn from a peer, or learn from a teacher who doesn't have their best interest in mind. So have courage, Mom. Have this conversation and know that you have time to pace it out. This lesson particularly is a great one to extend a little bit longer. So maybe you've been meeting for 2 hours each month, but consider doing an overnight, taking your daughter away for the weekend. And don't be afraid to laugh and to have fun and to recognize that this is kind of a silly topic at this age, and yet we're laying a foundation for them to feel confident, again, about who God is, that what He designed in them and His purpose for marriage, for sex, and for their bodies to have babies and give birth to living people in the world is a good thing. And we as moms get the privilege to lead and teach our daughters and show them the way. You got this, Mama, and I'm cheering you on every step of the way. You know that God is going to use this, and if you mess up, own it, apologize. If you need more information, go get it. Don't be afraid to ask for help, and every step of the way, God is using you to show your daughter that she's loved, she's known, and He has a purpose and a plan for her. So one last reminder, this is not the only conversation you're going to have with your daughter about her changing body. But know that this is just the start. So you don't have to do it perfectly. There's grace in this process. And God has made you the right mama for the job. So go, trust Him, trust that He's working, and enjoy this time with your daughter. You got this, Mama.